Hi, and welcome to my channel. So what should you do when the appraisal amount is less than your contracted sales price? Well, this is what we call in real estate an appraisal gap. And you do have options as a buyer when this happens to you, but let's first define what an appraisal gap actually is. Let's give an example here. Let's say you're buying a property for $500,000 and the appraisal comes back at $490,000. Well, then you have a $10,000 difference. Your mortgage company will only loan you a percentage of the appraisal amount. So where is the other $10,000 coming from? How does that come into play? Well, you have a few options as to how to deal with this gap. The first option that I always recommend to my clients is to go back to the seller and see if the seller would be willing to negotiate or lower the sales price down to the appraisal amount. The seller might be willing to do this. Keep in mind though, he's not obligated to do this in any way. If he's not willing to lower the price to full $10,000 or whatever your appraisal gap is, then maybe he would be willing to split the difference and then lower the sales price by half, and then you bring the other half to the table. If the seller is just simply, not willing to renegotiate the price at all, then your other option would be to pay the difference out of pocket. So you would need to bring the difference to the closing table in order to close on the property. As I mentioned earlier, mortgage companies will only loan you based on the appraisal amount. What I always like to do is try to be sure that we can get this appraisal report back before the end of the due diligence period. If we can get it back before the end of the due diligence period, then you can possibly walk away from the contract if you want to without losing your earnest money. You're going to lose your due diligence money no matter what. So if you can get it done in this due diligence period, then at least if you do decide to walk away, you will still have your earnest money. If you decide that you're going to stick with the contract, you just love this house, it's perfect for you, and you're going to make it work, then you can pay the difference. And you can get the cash from an investment that you have. Let's say that you have other real estate. You can tap into that equity, or you can talk with your IRA or your 401k advisors and see if you can do like an early withdrawal without penalty. So those are ways that you can get the cash, the extra cash, in order to bring it to the table for closing. Also, this money that you bring to close this appraisal gap is not part of the down payment. This will be in addition to any down payment that you have to bring to the table for closing. Another option is to dispute the appraisal. This can be very tricky because you could get a second appraisal and it's actually lower than the first appraisal. However, if you believe that there are certain aspects of the home that were not considered after you've read through the appraisal report, and you know that there are certain things in that property that you feel would increase the value of the property if it was correctly reported, then what you can do with your realtor, do the research on the property, get all the paperwork together, and write just a nice, short, polite letter stating the facts that you have found, and also submit all of your research and all of your comps and your paperwork with your letter and request a second appraisal. This can also delay your closing because appraisals can take time to get undone. So keep in mind that it is a risky process. However, it is an option if this is something that you choose to do. And the fourth option that you have is to walk away. Now, for some people, the above options just won't work, and their only option is to walk away. If you just simply cannot find the cash to bring to the table to pay the extra amount that's due to close that appraisal gap, then perhaps your only option would be to walk away and to start over. But keep in mind, you will lose your due diligence, and if it is outside of that due diligence period, you're going to lose your earnest money as well. So think about that carefully. Try to, if you can, and if you just absolutely love the house and you don't want to start over, find the money to close the gap. This is a very tricky process, and you do need professional guidance going through this process when you're working with appraisal gaps. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me and I will try to help you with that. And you have a great day, and please check out my channel for other information on how to deal with real estate. You have a great day.